They just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, for the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old, every single day, without this. Please watch the first series, the first 2 episodes, the second series. Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Hi everyone. I said I wasn't going to do any of these. I was only going to do the watch-alongs, then a pre-match, then the watch-along, and then the post-match, because I've had problems. But anyway, I'm here tonight because why I'm here is we've all digested the Real Madrid game. I've looked at it 3 times. And when I look at the team, when I look at every player, when I look at the tactics, when I look at everything, the system, we destroyed, and I'm not just exaggerating by saying destroyed. We actually destroyed Real Madrid, supposedly the best team, well, club team in the world. We destroyed them. And that's the way we should play. We should play that system constantly, not going back to the Eredivisie system, which wasn't working, which bewildered players. You've only got to look at Wirtz, the way he played. He was unbelievable, that lad. You've only got to look at the way young Callum, Bradley, Connor. I was thinking of Callum. Young Connor Bradley played. And even Robertson, the way he played. Because believe you me, players were in the past, because of the system that was brought in, the new system, and Slot admitted that, we're training very hard at AXA with the new system. And I said, didn't I, a few weeks ago, well, why didn't the journalists say, but your new system's not working? And it wasn't working because we were dreadful. But anyway, let's see what you are saying, and I'd love your comments about the way we were. Oh, the lovely Amby, Helen. Good evening, everyone. Please like and subscribe. Thank you, Amby. Thank you so much, Helen. And Barry Eldridge, even in Amby, and chat. Oh, and you too, Frank. Oh, thanks very much. What a feeling beating that lot again. Looks like he may just have found the formula. And the formula, as well as said, it's going back to what we play best. That's what he's gone back to, rather than, a system that he brought in this season, and some parts of it last season as well. And it just never worked. My LFC retro. Evening, Mr. Carlyle. Long time, mate. Hope you're well. Hello, my LFC retro. Hope you're all right yourself. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Buonasera to you all, says Toscana. Buonasera, Toscana. Did you see the look on Trent's face? Yes. Yes. I've watched the game a few times now. And as I said at the opening, it was absolutely amazing. The way everyone played. It was brilliant. It was such a joy to watch. Hi, Frank and everyone. Like and subscribe, says Christopher. No one's liked yet. But that's one like. Come on, lads, let's do these, man, says Yusuf. Yes. Yes, Yusuf. We'll talk about that in a moment. Snapey. Evening, rednecks. One and all. Evening, Snapey. And the boss. Greetings, FC and True Reds. For me, no new formula, only our Liverpool way. Exactly. That Jürgen applied. Slot should stay with. Yes. Not try to slow down at Anfield. Please, Connor and Maka back with Tom. Superb. Yes. That's what I mean. You know, everybody was having a go at McAllister. And we know that he's a great player. He's a World Cup winner. He's a brilliant player. But he was lost. Van Dijk was lost. Kanate was lost. They were all lost. Every one of them. And against Aston Villa, it changed. So that gave us confidence going into the Real game with the same system. More or less the same team. And look how we performed. Magnificently. And that's the system he has to keep. Never mind experimenting on the AXA training pitch, confusing people. TW, even a Frank in chat, IAT. The boss, hit the likes. Yes, please hit the likes. And Lynn, even a Frank. Hiya, Lynn. The Red Bird. I'm still buzzing. I've rematched the match a couple of times, and each time it seems better. That's what I was. Exactly, Red Bird. You know, that's what I was doing, looking at it. I'm trying to look at it, each individual. Wirtz, he was incredible. Put him out on the left. Courtois, he saved them from a really good drubbing. It could have easily have been 5-0. Easily have been. And you will agree with me there. And Edward, the Madrid game is the blueprint to how we should play every game. Absolutely. Absolutely. And let's hope that, you know, he sat back on his backroom staff. You know, let's hope that he's not being like persuaded to, you know, go out. Well, they've got the confidence now. Let's try this new system of ours. Doesn't work, fella. Does not work. Does not work at all. Big up, Edward. The Snapey says, your football podcasts are a brilliant format. See, I've got my reading glasses there. I'm trying to avoid them. A brilliant format for your viewers, Frank. You'd be missed by more than you might comprehend. Sorry if that sounds selfish, but it's a good mix on here. It's a boss demograph. Thank you. Thank you for that, Snape. And as the Snape says, evening, Redbird, evening, everyone watching. And Edward, the whole team was good. Yes, every single one of them. Every single one of them, Edward. Really were. And she says, Wirtz needs to stay on the left. Yes, absolutely. As I said, I've watched, I did the watch along. And you heard me saying during the pod, I'm loving this fella. Because all the hype about him, and unfortunately there was nothing there, because the lad, like the rest of the players, were confused. They were all over the place. But against Villa, and especially against Madrid, he was absolutely superb. Superb. And Youssef says, did Eitinga get sacked? Didn't he? I don't think so. I think he went. I think he was already going before the end of the season. And TW says, yes, Youssef. Maybe he didn't like and he's, new system coming into the fore this season. You never know. But if you don't like it, you can get off. CW, and we don't want him back. We don't want him back. And Snapey, a bit generic perhaps, but tactically Slot's taking the brakes off. Maybe from his perspective, it's a more risky ethos, maybe, but it's more productive, self-evidently. Of course, it's more productive. You've seen it. As I said, it could have easily been 4 or 5-0. Easily. Only because of their goalkeeper. I remember someone saying at the end of the podcast, who was your man of the match? And I put 3 up. What I would love to have said was Courtois. Because he was incredible. Absolutely incredible. But he was for their Real, wasn't he? He was their man of the match. Undoubtedly. Because he saved them from a drubbing. We outplayed them in every aspect of the game. Right from the beginning. Right to the end. Everyone played the part. Everyone. And if we keep this up, going in on Sunday to City, say we would have played City 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. And someone asked me if I was confident going up to the Etihad. I just said, no, I'm not. The way we were playing at the time. But this week, I'm a lot more confident than I have been. A lot more. because it proved against Real how we can play and stifle team. Don't forget, 2 clean sheets. So the back four was brilliant. The back line was brilliant. As I mentioned about Robertson, it was like a new man. He was like a new man, a young man. Don't forget, he's in his 30s. And he is, unfortunately, slowing down. But he was superb. As was Canate, Virgil, and Bradley. Bradley's shown up. As a defensive player, he's far better than Trent. Far better. He was everywhere, that lad. And he was up and down. But it did pick Wirtz, Szoboszlai, and young Conor Bradley as man of the match. And I wouldn't separate them. And I'm sticking to that. Sticking to it. Gravenberch was brilliant as well. He was back to his best. How thick do you have to be to ditch a winning formula, though, says Ambi? Exactly. Exactly. In my opinion, Amber, it's a good question, that. Because he wanted to get away from the Klopp legacy. So he wanted to brand his own legacy. And it wasn't working. It just never worked. That's why he reverted back to the old, as the boss said before, the old Liverpool way. And you should stick the old Liverpool way. Good question, that. Or good comment. And the red bear to the ambidextrous and boss Christopher, LFC, Retro, Toscana, T, W, Youssef, evening to you, great people, says the red bird. And the success server had 5 to 1, £20 on it at 80. Go away. Go away. Fantastic. So you celebrated them with a little bottle of champers, eh? Got a little bottle of champagne, that big. Only one of them mini ones. Excellent stuff. I like that. I like that. And you weren't scared to put it on. And you must have been confident. Very confident. And Youssef to Ambi. Agree, but the problem is there's going to be a point where he implements his way, says Youssef. And that's the problem. That's the little problem we have, Youssef. It really is. It really is. That's the problem. If he does try to implement the system that doesn't work. I remember Snapey saying a couple of weeks ago, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, he said the old system wasn't broken. Why try to fix something that's not broken? And it wasn't working. The Redbird. I prefer Walsh on the left. Cody scores a few, but is very predictable, says the Redbirds. Yes. Yes. And remember when Diaz was sold, and we was actually saying he's the wrong player to be sold. And look at him last night, scoring 2 and got sent off. Cody would be a good 10, says the success server. Yeah, now there's an idea, isn't it? It's cracking that. I success server, says the red bird. I red bird. And the boss says, funny, no one else ever considers playing a left-footed winger on the left, but that's just because I am old school. Who would expect the obvious? Yes. Yeah, but old school. I love it, actually. Really do. Really do. I just hope he doesn't chop and change. That's all that I hope. The lovely Toscana. I don't normally rewatch a match, but I did versus Real. Please, Baldy, keep those breaks off. Agree with Redbird. Vert on the left. And the Snape. Redbird agrees on Gapco. His predictability is easy as easy. Yeah, it is as easy to read. Vert is far more dynamic in his movements and crucially his reading of the game. Also, I thought Vert and Szoboszlai dovetailed. Yeah, they did. Yes. Very quick as well. Did you notice Sobo? Remember when Vert picked up the loose ball on the right and he ran? He was very quick. And then he just looked up at Szoboszlai moving in. It was very similar if you think about that particular move when Trent Arnold put it in the middle against Barca for Gini Wijnaldum to run onto and score. Scored a second. Very similar. But it was brilliant counter-attacking. Really was. Unbelievable. And the success, yeah, he has, yeah. And they got beat, didn't they? And Yusuf says, not anymore. Has he been sacked again? Been sacked again? And the boss, and I would play Flo behind twin but mobile strikers against three centre-back defenders. Imagine Hugo and Isak in form, fed through Flo and crosses in from the left winger, Mo. Does he vote communist though? Fucking hell, come on. Why do our assistant coaches leave us to be a manager and then fall and then fail? Sorry, says you, sir. Linders are now Heitinger. But you can say why Heitinger, fails because he's Dutch. And most Dutch managers fail. You've only got to look at Ten Hag, Koemans, Van Gaal. Failures. Dutch. The success server. We should re-sign Henderson in January. Be good backup for what we have. There was talk. Remember, there was talk. I'm just saying, like you, the success server, when someone was saying, "Why can't we bring back Bobby?" No, and don't forget, Henderson is what, 34, 35? No, but that's just me. People have their opinions. And where does he play? You're saying about backup. Why can't we just go out and buy a decent young fella? We beat City last season and we can do it again if we play like we did against Villa and Madrid. We can beat them, says Edward. Yes, Edward. And he carries on by saying, I know it's only November, but 7 points is a big gap, of course it is. Can we do it if we play like we have in the last 2 games? I think I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing now. And I'm talking about fans as well. You know how fans hate Liverpool Football Club? Because you see it on YouTube, the haters, they're called. And they were gloating when we were getting beat. They were going, to finish now. Look at the finish. But now, they'll be looking at Liverpool very differently. They'll be looking at Liverpool, the very old Liverpool, that is, the old way. Even Mark Goldridge says, it'll be scary. Give Goldridge his due, he's good. I think Robbo's performance will help incentivise Kirkes to push him even harder to oust Robbo. Sure, Andy's being a boss servant to the club, but it's inevitable that Father Time will take its toll eventually. Yeah, I said that for the last 2 seasons. What you just said. Sleepy. Gahey. Not meant to be going to Madrid now. We'll need him if Canate doesn't sign. Yeah. Who's the most important player that should be given a contract immediately, a new contract? I know. But, not saying that, but I know personally who I'd say. Yeah, I signed that. Who would you say? The King. Hey, Frank in chat. What a difference a few days make in football. Absolutely, King. Absolutely, King. And the boss says, Edward, think we need him, whether Ibu shines or not. And Edward says, true. We do need him. And Snapey says the boss, if Robbo can cover without maybe his responsibility for the Scots, he can go on a while. Still think we need a tight to play. Joe on the left, Kirkes as Frimpong is a winger. Yeah, someone said last night, I think. Not last night, because I wasn't doing one last night. Where's Frimpong going to play? It's though like he's being discarded already. I like Frimpong. He's a good player. But then again, so is Kirkes. You've only got to look at last season what he was doing for Bournemouth. And when we went in for him, everybody said this is a great signing, this. If we get him, be a great signing. Now everyone's saying, well, not everyone, but get rid of him, he's hopeless. You just don't become hopeless all of a sudden. You just don't. And when he got injured last night, or the night before, did you see the way he ran right across the field to kick that ball away? And he was fouled, actually. And nothing happened to their player. I thought the referee was a bit dodgy, to say the least. Well, do you know what? I've been shopping today, grocery shop, with Francine. And I got one of those calls, from India. And Francine said, oh, yeah, can you understand it? And she just went, pulled up. And no one gets hold of me. And it always seems to get every time I'm doing a podcast. Every time. Hang on. Kempachi, Linda's in City. Assisting, City. Yeah, he is. Pep Linda's. The two Peps together. I never ever liked Pep Linda's, to be honest. I always remember I was watching Inside Anfield or something like that. And you see, it's just before the game, when you see them in the tunnel and that. It was just before the players came out in the tunnel, I think to warm up. And Jürgen came out and Linda's was by the door. Against the wall. The door opened and Jürgen walked up and he looked at him. But you should have seen the look. I had the picture. I should have kept it. Should have seen the look that Lindsay's was giving Jürgen. Good show, boss, says the snipe. Bella. Buonasera, Franco, and you Reds. Opal, yes. Buonasera. Bella, buonasera. Success saver, says the Redbirds. Bring back Enzo. What are you smoking, lad? Toscana to Edward. I thought there was talk of Guy here going to Bayern. I bet he feels let down by the owners of LFC. We should have just put in, just paid the 5 million. Should have just paid it, but they wouldn't pay it. It's like the Zubamendi thing. When their president, El Presidente, said, just give us the money. I don't want installments, give us the money. You can have them. That's why we never got him. Oh, blimey, where am I? Excuse me, people, I've got to go right up. And Mark Simons, he lives in Spain, by the way. In Spain, it's known that the upper command, Up Meccano and Canate will be at Madrid next season. And a low ball offer for Maka to destabilise him and the club, which is the classic modus operandi of Los Blancos. Well, don't be surprised that there might be a swap for Conor Bradley and Trent. Yeah, you can have him back. We'll just swap. And we'll give you the few bob as well. Bringing old players back is counterproductive. Nostalgia obscures the objectivity, says Snape. Both Bobby Firmino and Henderson were in caps good servants, but they are past their best. There's no sentiment in evolution. There isn't. There isn't. Absolutely spot on there. And Bella says, think someone has a words and slots here. Plays the play. Great. Yeah, I agree. It could have been the players, a couple of senior players. So listen, we can't play this week in, week out. Nothing's going right. Excuse me. No bloody pain in me. Jesus. It's as though someone is sticking a bloody needle in me eye. So you could be right there, Bella. And the Red Bears, Snapey facts, lad. And the boss, I think we will go all the way in Europe and come close in the league. In my book, we don't even look at the table before Xmas also. Do you know what? You're spot on there. I remember when at uni, and this lad's, he says, you support Liverpool, don't you? I said, yeah. He said, he was at, I think he was a Crystal Palace supporter, this lad. And was he a Crystal? No, he wasn't. I forget what he was. And their team was at the top. And it was before the Christmas. We just come back. And he was in my, he was one of my students. And he said to me, Liverpool do so well, don't? I said, yeah. I said, because we don't look at the league table. We look at it when it's necessary to look at it. And it's only what you said there, boss. The Snape. Gravenberch, new contract. Sobo, says Christopher. Sobo, without question, says Barry Aldridge. Dom, says Edward. Sobo, the King, and Gravenberch. Well, it's Szoboszlai. It's Szoboszlai. He's an absolutely incredible player. And when I said I was watching the game, watched it 3 times now, so 4 times, but you can't really watch it. Well, I can't when I'm doing that podcast. Watch along. Excuse me. My eyes are killing me. So it's just the way I look at it. And I was looking at Szoboszlai. I was looking at them all. And that Szoboszlai was everywhere. Just like Wirtz. And they complemented each other. And it's such a shame that Courtois made that. And it wasn't a miss as such by Szoboszlai. When it was 1-on-1 with Courtois. That was a brilliant save. And it's hit his foot. It's hit his bloody foot. And it's a pity it never went in. because that link-up was absolutely amazing. And if they can play that link-up, it'd be devastating, honestly. Toscana to Bella. Wouldn't be surprised if Slot and the players had a chat. The players looked like they were playing for him. You can tell that Slot was under pressure. You can tell, I'll tell you for why. What he came out and said, he said, the fans, they were great. They were great. The best in the world, because they were shouting his name. And that's why he said it. And you can tell that that man was under a hell of a lot of pressure. In all honesty, if we'd have got beat by Villa and them last night, the night before, and playing City, he would have been gone if City would have beat us. Tell him, he would have just gone. Edward, there will be a few teams after him, says to Toscana, says Edward. And Bella to Toscana, yes, you're right. The players played like they wanted to win, and it was good to see, says Bella. Yes, of course. And the Snape, dodgy referee, Bellingham I said that, and you know I said that, Snape, he should have been. He was sly all the way through the game, bringing people down from behind. And he finally got booked. But wasn't it ironic that his foul led to the goal, the free kick? Made up. But he should have been sent off him. So I'll rate that again. Bellingham should have been sent off. They were diving all over the place. Both Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. displayed infantile history. They did. Histrionics, they did. Infantile. Piss poor, yes. And retroholic. Gamer. Top 10 British managers you've seen in your lifetime. Well, you bring in, I'm sorry, but you have to include Liverpool. You really do, because you've got Shankly and you've got Bob Paisley. So there's two right away. You've got John Revie was a great manager. He really was a great manager. Bobby Robson was a very good manager. But the main men, going back to the Shankly and days was John Revie. Great rivalry. Bertie Mee was a great manager as well, of Arsenal. But I wouldn't give them in order. The top of the tray in any manager was Bob Paisley. You've got to bring Ferguson into the equation as well. Tommy Docherty was a good manager. Tommy Docherty. So you see, you could go through in different eras of managers. And you're just trying to conjure up, who was the best at the time. It's a good shout, that, though, Retroholic. Really is. And the boss. Best wishes, FC, and all. Off to see the Wizard. Have a good night. Hit the likes, everyone. Best LFC channel on YouTube. I hope you'll never walk alone. Good night. Thank you, boss. Appreciate that. Like Boss says to Snape. There he is, look, the Anfield Road. I like Frankie, lads, and chat. Look at all them. Hey, look at all. I was telling my daughter today what you said. And she says, isn't that lovely? You know about the match in the City next year. And she said, isn't that lovely, Dad? You've got a nice bunch of fellas there. I said, and girls, Francine, and girls. And the Snape, evening roll, hope you're well, fella. The King, all right, though. And in the caps, thanks for that, Anfield. Frankie, I'm getting fed up with all these fucking ex-pros trying to tell us how to behave around Trent. They're all passive-aggressive bastards. They say what we did is wrong. Then they say, well, they pay so. Yeah. It was... See, I don't think... We're just... Look, I'm not being funny. I know a few players, and you can't say anything about it. You know, if you say, like, I remember going over to one of our managers, and I mentioned a certain player, and he went, didn't want to know. Because I always said this particular player gave foul every week. Every week when he played. He always fouled outside the 18-yard box, giving free kicks away in dangerous positions. Every game he played. And I went to there, and he went, didn't want to know. You don't talk about players. So, you know, they're talking about Trent, but they don't realise to the extent of us paying, trying to watch a game of football at Anfield. And then you've got the away fans. You go home and away. And why can't they? Because, you know, it's like anything. You can't criticise anymore. But it was the way Trent did it. Do you ever remember? And I didn't like it. I forget who it was against. He scored, actually, and he was like that. Remember that? Telling us, give over, behave. That's what he's telling us. Talking about me. And it was the way he ran his contract down. And I'm not going into it again because we nurtured him. Jurgen Klopp made him into what he was. The fans loved him. But it was the way he did it. He was told to run his contract down by Real Madrid. So you're not supposed to say nothing. You're supposed to give him a big round of applause. Not me. Not me. And I think Bradley really showed him up for his defensive frailties, Trent, because he couldn't defend. But we all backed him, didn't we? Because of his fantastic passing ability. The carries on. They can have their say, sick of these commentary, and our fan base Keane, TalkSport, nobody had a good word ever to say. Yeah, to ever say, of course. And what was Wayne Rooney doing on it? And I know for a fact that Wayne Rooney just does not like Liverpool Football Club. And I'm going back years ago, by the way, as well. Bitter. I always remember something happened and Liverpool were playing Everton. I forget what it was. But it was like the memorial outside the ground. He said, oh, well, I didn't know that the memorial was there. I thought, oh, fuck off. I didn't know that I forget what it was over. Maybe one of you could tell me. Just forget what it was over. And the Anfield to Snapey. You're all right, lad. The King, you're all right, lad. And Frankie, you've been spot on about our midfield. Your idea of it, if it isn't broke, don't need fixing. Well, he tried Wirtz, ruins our team, and all we bloody needed was another competitive midfielder. Bang on. Bang on. Bang on, good comment. He's not half generous, isn't he, the Anfield? All the bevies. To everyone. And the red bird. Wirtz would have had a goal if Salah passed him the ball instead of going. It's a split decision thing. And I thought Mo played well, by the way. I thought Mo played very well. And he plays well against Villa. You know, some people said, no, he said it. No, played well. That goal he scored against Villa, you know, I don't think anybody gives him any credit that he just scored. It was a cracker. He had to react like that and put it low along the deck with a little bit of venom. So it never gave the goalkeeper time to react. His mistake. Brilliant goal. Has anybody heard about the red bird? Not that I'm sorry. The Scottish bear? Any idea? Hope he's okay. We know he's ill, but happy to see you all, lad. It's all good, your end. Johan. Brian Clough was decent as well. I don't mention him. I understand what you're saying. I always remember him going in. There was all the likes of Ron Greenwood's. There was loads of them outside this FA headquarters. And they were appointing an England manager and they were interviewing them. And Bobby Robson was there. Ron Greenwood, there's a few of them. And they were all sitting down. And Clough came in. And he had they were all in suit and ties, and he came in with his tracksuit on. And went, hello. So they just looked at him, walking down, we're running down to the And he just opened the door and went, "Have I got the job?" They looked at him and he just closed the door. He went, "Good luck, lads." I just ran out. "I haven't got it." So he never had it. But I don't talk about him simply because he blamed. I take everything personal, by the way, about Hillsborough. And I'm talking personal. If we're getting chances, all the murderer, I'm not a murderer. I take it personal. And he blamed us. He blamed us. All the drunken yobs. Hillsborough. I went to the Shankly thing. Down the Shankly Hotel. And I was talking to this lad. I think it was the great-great-grandson of Shanks himself. And he called himself Shankly. And he wasn't Shank. Anyway, he had a different name. And it was the first time I'd been in that. And I looked on the wall, and I was with Francine, brought Francine with me. And I looked up because I wanted a venue for one of the players when I was doing the Scouts nights, for ex-players, because they had nothing. And I looked up on the wall, and there's Clough. I said, "What's he doing up there?" He said, "Well, he liked me granddad." Oh, he said he said nice things about me granddad. I said, "Every Liverpool fan says nice things about your granddad. Every Liverpool fan. Even if they were born at, they weren't born at the time of Shankly, they say because they get the stories." I said, "So what's he doing up there?" He said, "I've just told you." He said nice things. I said, "Okay." I said, "Did he say nice things about the fans?" And he said, "I don't know what you mean." I said, "Well, the Hillsborough." I said, "Hillsborough." He blamed the Liverpool fans for the disaster and tragic circumstances at Hillsborough. He was 96 then. I said, in 96 of our fans died, including a 10-year-old boy. Girls, sisters, young girls, 14 and 16. A girl from London who has a family. I said, "And were they drunk? Were they drunken yobs?" I said, "Get him down. It's disgusting. And you can fuck off with your, I was looking for a venue. And I walked out, went up to the Devonshire, got it there. So I don't talk about him, I got a cracking thing through, And today, because I went to my fucking post box, finally got me mail out, and there was a thing. I'll show you it sometime. And on the front it just said, "Thank you, Frank." And I know it's off. I couldn't think at first. Then I realised who it was. Not one of you people, but it was absolutely brilliant. I'll show you at some point. But you go on, no disrespect what you've said, honestly. Because I don't think you knew what he said about us. And the Anfield to the Redbirds, did you see the Wenger take on Wirtz, basically saying the only reason he turned Bayern down is because they wanted him to play left side? Well, is that exactly where he is going to be? Well, I'm sorry there. I know what irony is. That's exactly where he's going to play. And the Snapey says, Paisley's records are statistically irrefutable. He's the most decorated manager over his tenure in the English and European game. Absolutely. He was the only manager at the time to win 3 European Cups with the same club. Think about that. Paisley's records, yep, brilliant. Thanks for bringing that up, Snapey. Big up, Johan, says T. And Johan. Paisley, says the Red, was way better than Fergie. I don't care what anyone says. Facts. Yeah, I think it was proved, to be honest. He was better. Well, he's the most. Well, he's done everything, didn't he? They say 9 seasons, but he won nothing at all in his first season. So you can imagine what he won in 8 seasons, which is more than anything. Not 9, 8. And don't forget, he won 3 European Cups when you had to be champions of your league, of your, the country, basically, and beating the best in Europe. The Anfield. All right, Johan. Oh, the Redbird. Oh, the devil are you, Johan? That's lovely. And the Anfield to Snapey to the absolutely bang on about former players spouting off. The Anfield. Yep, me Wi-Fi went down the other night. I'll speak to you about tickets. I'll get your little grandkids in or older one, whoever. Like, oh, kidding me? Oh, brilliant. God, can I tell him, yeah, daughter, she'd be made up. She'd be made up. I said to her, I said, what was Sophia doing? When we scored, she said, Dad, she was jumping around. She was jumping around. She said, it's just great to see, my granddaughter being a Red. And she's... It's lovely. And the Redbird, raw. Wirtz looks good on the left. I'll take him over Cody every time. Yes, I agree with you, Redbird. I really do. I think that myself. And the Anfield to the Snape. It's constant about our fans. They only see it from the professional side. When a brickie goes for more money, the respect of that brickie leaving it to turn around and tell the truth. And there's the analogy about a brickie. And Johan to the Redbirds. Well, enjoying the sun. Hope you've been all right. You know where he is, don't you? He's in India. He's in Mumbai. He said, I'm in Bombay. I said, Mumbai? Mumbai. I just wish I could put my arms around me, the back of my head, and I can't do it. The pain. And the unfair to the shoulder on the Hussein was a tone setter. He shrugged him off, that ball. IBR. Evening, John Franco. Hope you're good. Yes. We're all happy because of the other night, every single one of us. IBR. Liverpool also made the traitor a multi-millionaire. I said it. And do you know what got me as well? I'm not being funny. Yeah. I'll put it this way. Imagine getting divorced, right? Imagine getting divorced. And then, you meet someone else. And everything is great. And, you're happy again. And your new one is happy. And she walks in. And she sees a picture on the wall of your ex-wife. Now, the husband, he was taking that as soon as they were divorced or separated. He was taking that picture off the wall and got shut of it. You just don't do that. And it's like Trent's moral. I don't think that people realise, what he says with that. I'm an ordinary Liverpool lad, and he does what he did. He ran his contract down because he was told to, rather than pay him back what the club had given him through nature and everything all those years to make him what he was. And to me, that moral should go. I believe that moral should go and put someone else there. I tell you, it was dreadful. He's an alright player playing for us. Ray Houghton. He got on my fucking nerves. Co-hosting with, for LFC TV. Co-commentator. He wouldn't stop fucking talking. And he's got his voice goes through me. Does anyone else listen to him? He wouldn't stop fucking talking. John Bradley, he's the commentator. Wouldn't you think he would have told him to fucking shut up? Talking arse as well, by the way. He went like that. I'll give you an idea what he did. That penalty incident? He said, penalty though. It was in the area. He was saying, it was in the area. Yeah, penalty. Put his hand out, that's it. It's his hand, penalty. In the area. And then when it was not given, he was saying, yeah, well, his hands was in an awkward position and, it hit him, and he was fucking backtracking of what he fucking said. And I thought, oh, fuck off. Come fucking back to mode. And the Red Bears, he shouts in, was you at the game, lads? What a night Anfield does European games. Better than anyone, in my opinion, yes. the Anfield. Frankie's spot on when our kids said Rooney is down in front of the Kop. I was like, yeah, what? And there he was, smelling of granny piff. Well, I said, is it like the Grafton down there? Gonna have a big dance afterwards. He had a smooch with before the perfume. After all the bevies, you and me, raw, I'll be well older. No, hang on. Sorry, Redbird. After all the bevies you send me, raw, I'll be well old after down. Snapey. Personally, I think Mo's playing himself back into... Yes. Yeah, I do myself, Snapey. Form is temporary, class is permanent. Yes. Yes. In the Anfield today. I tell you, it was good to have the Raw back at the game. I'm still mad at the fact that some in King Kenny are quiet as mouses. It's like when we played Southampton the season before last, and I was just made up that I went with my granddaughter. I was just made up because I've been in the game now with all my grandkids. That's what I can say. And she was, but we were in the main stand. That's a great view. We were right above the tunnel, where they come in and out. And I was shouting and screaming, and she said to me, Grandad, why are you shouting? I said, well, that's what you do. I said, you shout at the referee and the linesman and their players. She said, but no one else is shouting, only you. And that proves that, the people in the main stand just sit there. That was our little Sophia. Not seeing her the bird around for Youngs, still praying for him, says the Redbird, yeah. Thanks, Redbird. Thanks, Redbird. The snake to Johan. Sorry, but once Clough blames our fans for Hillsborough as credence as both a human being and a manager was consigned to the latrine. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks, Snapey. And the Anfield to the Redbird. One thing it will say in my headstone, he always walked into a bar, but always carried on. But always walked into a bar, but always carries on. And they were all... Frankie, during the boot room period, do you know if the club ever looked outside the club for a manager? No. In between Paisley and Fake? No. Like, was there any possibilities? No. No, and you can ask your dad that as well. And he'll say the same, because it was kept in. It was tight-knit. Because when the Shanks retired and Paisley took over, it was great because, the club director said, just pick Bob. Keep with him. And what they said was, Bob knows what Shankly has been doing, and he'll keep the formula going. But he did it better than the Shanks. he did it far better. If you know what I mean. And to me, that's why he was the greatest manager we've ever had. So there was no possibilities, because when Bob retired, Joe Fagan took over. The same thing. And he was being nurtured to take over the boot room. Was a very young lad who had to retire, I think, when he was 23. And they brought him into the boot room, so he was being nurtured. And that was Roy Evans. Then it all changed when Roy became manager. But you've got to look at the Spice Boys, girls, because they showed him no respect. So they brought in Houllier. And that's where it went downhill. Albeit Houllier won the 10 cups. But that was the first outsider. Then it was outsiders from there onwards. The Redbird. No, do you think that there is a lot of business people in the King Kenny stand? Because they never make a noise. Half of them don't even like football. I'm like, yes, that's right. It's all about business for the snobs. Absolutely. I was looking at the under-21s, or whoever they are, playing Real Madrid, the other night, and they got stuffed 4-0. Or was it 5-0? Not quite so sure. And it went on the stand, looking around the camera, and there was more fucking people on the phones without looking at the game. Genuine, that. Don't know whether you've seen it, and you witnessed it yourself. He was just on the fucking phones, just like. The Redbird from the Anfield Road to the Redbird. Hashtag. Not heard from Bear in about 2 months. Hope he is good. Darryl said he did. Oh, for fuck's sake. It's so fucking sad. One of our lads, Johan, apologies to ignore it there about Clough. Sorry to bring him up. Almost 2:30 a.m. here. He's listening to it. No need to apologise. You didn't, as I said, you didn't know. Johan. The Anfield to the Redbird. There is now, we are in the lowest near the top end, so we naturally joined a lot. But yes, corporate is amongst us. Well-to-do lads. Never buy anything at the ground. Bring sandwiches. Fucking nuts, isn't it? So any predictions? For fucking pain. And that fucking pain all over the place. Any predictions for Sunday? I was talking to one another. The red bear said to the outfit, "I love your wife." The outfit comes down, and I'm just bad. And the outfit says to the red, "What do you mean, love me wife?" So that's where she was after Sniffy. Oh, he's a fucking loony, you know. Oh, the Jazz, I missed him. There he is. Frank, big up, mate. Hiya, Jazz. Hiya, Jazz, mate. Hope you're well. Men, men loved your wife's attitude. You can imagine they're all going, "They're not talking about you here. What have you been up to?" And she'd come in and give him a slap in the back of the head. Oh, shut up, you tope. Daz, would you line up the same against City as Tuesday? Yes. That's what we've been saying, Daz. We just made up about everything. I've just got a thesis here. Looks like a thesis. Right. And it's Brian. Was talking to a man today, Frank, outside my daughter's school. 3 hours later, I got away. He used to be a postman in Liverpool and got a letter to go to Shanks's house. Nessie opened the door and he demanded Bill had to sign for it just to get to see him. Shanks says, "Come in, son. It's freezing out there." He was gobsmacked. Turns out he also done nets for Vauxhall Motors. Shanks asked him, would he come down to the training ground to help out with shooting practice? And he didn't go. He was afraid of embarrassing himself, most probably. That's an incredible little story, that. Oh, Jeff, my old mate. For me, Paisley was the perfect manager, but those days are long gone. I was so glad Slot changed tactics. If you would have been with us at the beginning, you know, that's what we were talking about. Opie's finally said, this is what we've been saying. Jeff, seeing his way was going nowhere and went back to the high press. Maybe he sat the squad down and they all watched videos of the team under Klopp. What we said as well, or what I said basically, is that some of the senior players must have said, listen, it's not working. You're out of a DC system. It's just not working. We've got to get back to how we can play. Our best play. You know what I'm saying about them personally, because, you know, there was some terrible performers. And people were saying a loss of form. No, it was the system that they were playing in. But that's just my opinion. So he changed it around against Villa, then he changed it again No, he didn't. He never changed it, against played the same again against Madrid. And look what happened there, Jeff. So I don't think, I really don't believe if he just changed the tactics and goes back to his, where it's all slow at the back and, it's giving the opposition, the chance to just reorganise because it's that fucking slow. And IBR, pull the Trent Moral down and put Tom Franco. I'll be getting Z-faced every day. And she says, John Bradley, big, yeah, he is. I know John from LFC TV. Cracking fella. Really nice. But he is a big Leeds supporter. Everyone's a legend on that LFC TV, says the King. Jason McAtee. Ray Houghton. Jace Barron. Phil Babb. Neil Mellor. Okay. That was a penalty all day long, says. But he just fucking backtracked on what he said. Backtracked. Achi. Hello, Frank. Just popped in. Hey, Achi. Good to see you. The Snapey. Ray Houghton's nearly as annoying as Jason Hucknell, yeah. He's him on a biblical scale. The fucking pair of them. McAtee and him. Fucking phone, honest. That McAtee, for fuck's sake. Fucking self-professed legend. Remember him saying something like, oh yeah, they were talking about legend. He said, oh, well, us legends. And, oh, fuck off. Fucking you legend. I'd love to see a more of that famous boot room, lads, instead of the traitor, says the Redbird. Could you imagine the faces of the boot room? The likes of the Shanks, Moncor. Shanks in the middle, because he built the foundation. And then you see the likes of the Bob Paisley, Joe Fagan, Kenny Dalglish. That would be brilliant, that. That's a great shout. Because they were always loyal, except Kenny. There's a couple of things about Kenny. One accepting the knighthood after the cover-up. Brilliant shout about the boot room moral. Brilliant shout, says the Snape. If we get a ticket for the game, we throw our souls onto the pitch. Our support should be a reflection of the tenacity of our players should exhibit. We go to the game to take part. The 12th man's loud. And when Shankly at that time, it's a privilege to play for you. And I drummed it into them. Brilliant speech, though. And if they didn't know then, now they know now. Great. Good shout. The Anfield. Snapey. Ray Houghton point is spot on, but Neil Mellor is the ultimate annoyance for me. His bloody game analysis is that of a child. You can see Gary Gillespie trying not to nut. Gary Gillespie's all right, by the way. But Ray Houghton, fucking hell. He's so fucking... He wouldn't shut up. The Madrid game, trying to watch it, I had to fucking mute it. Especially on the second one, and the third one. No fucking chance of him. That's stupid. Anyway. The Redbirds, the allure to the Reds. That's a great idea, that moral. Can have the original group in the room and Klopp, King Kenny, Rafa, Houllier and Arn looking in. That's brilliant. That's brilliant, that. That is brilliant. Well done, lads. Jeff, over the years, the football grounds has become a corporate day out. A sorry state of affairs. Yes, of course it is, Jeff. Fucking hell, this fucking nose of mine. Jesus. Just itchy underneath. It's terrible. Try and keep doing that. I'll be rubbing my nose on that fucking genie up here. What do you want? Season ticket. I want a box at Anfield so I can invite you all in. When I asked for their predictions, the IBR 1-1. Christopher 2-0. Taz 2-1 for us, of course. And the Snape says, if we're as confident as I hope we are, I can see us sneaking a win against Man City 1-0. I'll drink to that. I remember I had to take, and it was a fucking Saturday, I'll never forget it. And I had to take these business people around. They said, you've got to do it. Oh, fucking hell. So I brought them around, and it was a Saturday. And Liverpool were playing Man City. And I was walking along Castle Street, going to the town hall, because the town hall opened so especially that I could go in with these fucking business people. And this fellow was sitting there, and he went, hey, Frank. I went, what? He said, City are beating you 2-0. Couldn't believe it. Beating you 2-0. And he said, you're going to get stuffed. I went, okay, yeah. And then when I gave this talk and whatever came out, some fella shouted over it. We beat them. We beat them 3-2. Cout getting the winner. Anzo getting a brace. That was brilliant. They're great taste, them. Anfield. What a banner that would make. The boot room analogy says the Snapey to the Anfield. Yes. Reindeer. You can tell it's Christmas, can't you? Aye, as a Liverpool fan from India, great work, mate. says, right, thank you. I don't know if it's rains here or what. Thank you. I like that. Do me a favour, press the like and subscribe, please. Get the algorithm up there, as they say. Ronnie Moran would be on the boot room moral for me. Yeah, Snapey. Yeah, he's got to be there. You know, and if you say that as well, you've got Ruben Bennett as well. He could be looking in. Ruben Bennett. Ronnie Moran with a bucket. Holding a bucket. And Johan, see the charms already working. Watch out. The outfit of the Snape. Wouldn't it be right not to have Ronnie there? Yeah, it wouldn't. Jeff, the old mate, man of the match for the last two games has been the fan. They are, look at that. How about that, eh? Man of the match, the fans. That's great, though. Thanks, Jeff. That's a cracking comment about our lads and girls. Frank, as you notice, says Brian, that ref on Tuesday, every time we went down the left side of their box, the ref was always in the way. He was given some fucking bad decisions as well, to be honest. And Edward, 2-on-2 us. That's it, be positive, lads. Excuse me. Sorry about this. I've had a busy day. And a painful one. He plays with a false 9 last season away at City and it worked. Yes, Edward. Yo, smashed cheesy 5-0 for me. Wish we could. I wish we could. Yo, Snapey. The lyrical spontaneity shown on here regarding the boot room is proof positive that our verbally ingenuity knows no boundaries. I'm so proud to be part of such an eloquent fan base. We never think alone. We never think alone. I meant about reindeer showing up whilst I'm here. That's great. Yeah. It really is great, to be honest. Fucking hell, I'm in pain, boys and girls. Yeah, it's. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the game on Sunday. I really am, because we're looking forward to the game. Excuse me. We're looking forward to the game. We can always, reflect against Israel and that wonderful display. And don't forget, Real is one of the. Obviously, you're getting the Spanish press and everyone making excuses, saying that they were in the right frame of mind and all this nonsense. But you see little Vinicius, whatever his name is, and something else on his shit, and he went down like, with his two hands around his gob, as though he's being poleaxed. Like, there's a smashing picture of that. Shocking, same as Mbappe. And I was just, and the little Ambi says 2, she must mean 2-0. Keep a clean sheet. Right, Ambi. And Edward, Belly, yeah, he said it was overhyped. I think the likes of Trent's been talking to that arsehole, to be honest. It's not as, great as they make it out to be. That's in my opinion. And he's never fucking played in the Premiership, has he, that Dewey? Bellingham. Vinicius, the ballerina, disgusting that. That's not a sportsman. And the Anfield, Edward Bellingham's visit to Anfield twice and lost twice. Yep. Amazed if someone's pressing the likes, to be honest. I'm doing it, don't forget me Saturday morning thing as well, filming TV review. 10:30 tomorrow. Unless you're all going down to Gracie. Or to Tesco's or wherever to do your weekend shopping. Snapey. Real Madrid's state of mind wasn't particularly stable at full time. We can only play what's in front of us. Is right. Listen, boys and girls, I'm going to stop the stream. My back's killing me, unfortunately, my neck. I'll have to take some tablets. I don't like taking painkillers. They're not paracetamol. Codamol, are they? Gracie or the Heritage for me on Sunday. Is the Heritage still open? Unless it's moved. Has it moved or is it still in the same place? On the dock? By the Titanic Hotel? And Edward, thanks, Frank. for Thursday's pod. Thank you for joining us. The IBR. Olga Franco, see you soon and take care. Thank you. And Edward says, no, it's apartments now. I can see them from where I live. I can see them. I've seen it, a little thing, I don't know, it was earlier this year or last year, you know, what's actually being done. They look lovely, those apartments. I don't think Alonso expected such an accomplished defence and display too. Given our recent showing, he was shocked. Good night, one and all. Boss Pod Frank. Up the mighty Redmond. Thank you. Thank you. Cheers, Frank. Get yourself a cup of tea. See you soon. Says the TW. Do you know what? I forgot to bring my water in as well. I'm dead dry. I've been up since what times of the week? I woke up at 4:30, then fell back asleep, and then I woke up at, what time is it? About 20 to 6. About 20 to 6. Been awake since. Just lying there, you know what I mean? Not going to get up, sit on a bloody chair, couch or whatever I sit on. So I am tired. And I had someone in before. I went shopping. What are you up to, Dad? Have you just come out? What are you up to, Dad? Thank you, Frank and Legends. We'll pray for the pain to go. Frank, have a good night, everyone. Thank you. Isn't that lovely? I've got it. You're not going to believe it. I've got it. That thing, Snapey, and I can't put it on myself. Pain, a pain there, you know, around the nape of my neck. Yeah, fucking hell. And, you know, my elbow goes, as you know. Bella, 2-1 for us. Yes, Bella, thank you. The King, my Frank. The King. Like you want, lad, says the Snape. I've got this thing, as I said tomorrow night. I will be fit for it, believe me. No tiredness, no nothing. Got a lot to say tomorrow. Current affairs. Current affairs. You answer the Snape. Good night, sir. That lovely. That's lovely, though. Have I got sales to tell you about tomorrow? I got your photos. Fantastic. Or, you know, email. Johan. What building there? Unbelievable. Mumbai. Do you know, there is something for you, Johan, you mightn't know. And our lads on here. and girls. Do you know that big arch? Do you know the big arch that says India? That big white arch. Well, that was built by Sir Frederick Gibbard. And Sir Frederick Gibbard built Liverpool's Catholic Cathedral. How about that? Christopher. My Frank and everyone up the title-winning Reds. Thank you, Christopher. Buonasera. Well, buonanotte. Franco and all you Reds, says the beautiful, lovely Bella. Hi, Bella, says the red bird. Yusuf. Frank, do you rate Donnarumma? Yeah, I do, actually. I think he's a good keeper. Italian. Well, he plays for the Azori League. Good night, red bird. See, Belly. Little Lambie's still with us. Good night, Al. Good night, Ellen. Good night, sweetheart. And on that note, I'll hopefully see some of you tomorrow. Excuse me. The red bird. Night, Frank. Got to get up at 5 a.m, so I'm off for some. Catch you later and chat. You're up at 5. Okay, now. The flat architect, as he's known here. Oh, go away. Go away. Didn't know that, Johan. Well, listen, people. Hopefully, I'll see some of you tomorrow. I've been on for 2 hours now. Try to keep it to that minimum. And if I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you on Saturday morning with some of the film and TV review. Even Johan watched the Outsider. Well, I've been telling everyone to watch. No one watches it, and he watched it. And it's only a short series, you know. There's not like loads of series where it's just a compact mini-series. I watched it back to back one day, and Johan said, it's brilliant. There you have it. There you have it. Brilliant. And on that wonderful note, thank you. Good night, all. And to our lovely, lovely ladies, buonanotte. Buonanotte. Ci vediamo. Ciao. Ciao tutti. Ciao, Bella.